Shannon, how has this setup been going?
Something's broken. We need to plan on things changing. We have no money. We have nobody who actually does this in our company. So we all have to pitch in and do it.
We're just patching up some last minute stuff.
Exactly a year ago at Cine Gear, I had quit my job about a week before. Just being like, could we come here next year with a product? Wouldn't that be nuts? On one hand, I have to pinch myself. On the other hand, I have to be realistic. Like we are moving so fast that we are just like almost over our skis. That's a scary place to be.
It's hard to admit when you're wrong, especially on your own YouTube channel. At the time of this recording, my brother Peter and I have pitched Strada to nearly 50 potential investors, and the responses have all been the same: no. And the number one reason for this, it hurts to share this, it's because we didn't listen to them. I mean, I literally did an episode on this way back in episode 2. See, normally before investors will write checks to a startup, you have to prove that you have a problem worth solving. And proving that comes from one place: customer feedback. And the best way to gather that feedback is not to deliver a finished product, a polished product, or even a version 1, but to deliver a minimum viable product. So why didn't we do that? It's because we made the decision to widen the feature set, and I made the decision to hold the product back until I felt these features were truly ready. The problem is, these decisions delayed our beta, and now we're about to run out of money before we're able to collect unbiased proof that Strada is a product that solves a real problem. And to this day, I continue to struggle with whether or not Strada is even ready for users.
Something's broken. It feels like it's hauling like 100-pound brick up a stairwell.
We've been kind of like working our way top to bottom through the stack, like solving one bug after another, and we're kind of finding out it's a very root problem.
Whenever a creative person makes a movie or a musician writes a song, I think all they hear and see are the mistakes. And so like my fear is just like all I see are the problems.
For some of us, if what you're creating doesn't match what's in your head, you just don't want to show it. But luckily, I've installed a way to protect myself from letting this get me into too much trouble through establishing immovable deadlines. So with only a few weeks of remaining runway, we're forcing ourselves to release a beta version of Strada. And the deadline to accomplish this is the largest filmmakers trade show in Los Angeles, Cine Gear.
So you just got to go for it and just give it to people and work from there.
I love establishing teams, and 2 of the attributes I'm always looking for are people who are extremely resourceful and demonstrate incredible resilience. Creative people and entrepreneurs are familiar with this because we know how to beg, borrow, and steal to make our ideas happen. Our budget to pull this trade show off is really tight, so producing a quality trade show booth means every responsibility, and I mean every responsibility, falls squarely on the shoulders of our team.
Okay. There's a lot to remember. It's very hectic, but we're still having fun.
Even though being scrappy is required to pull off this mission, we didn't want that to be too obvious to Cine Gear attendees. And most importantly, we wanted people to be able to actually interact with the working product. To accomplish this, I wanted Strada to feel like its own creative space. So we started designing the 20 by 20 booth and found a company that would print 10-foot fabric walls to give us an inviting structure to work with.
Basically what we want is as people come in the stage, we want that cone to open towards the opening of the stage itself.
So it would be this corner.
Correct.
Since giving the product to customers is so essential, we need to be able to demonstrate it at the show. But I want to be able to perform multiple one-on-one demonstrations so we can spend time with individuals that want to interact with the product on a deeper level. So I had an idea of building 3 demo stations using 32-inch Apple XDR displays. We were lucky enough to borrow 3 XDR monitors along with 3 Mac Studios, which we felt would provide a perfect way to demonstrate the product. But since XDRs use a stand, we need a table to rest them on. And that's gonna need to be cheap.
I've been staring at black cabinets for 2 days straight now. For some reason, it's impossible to find just a little demo station. Our budget for this is probably around $200. But I think I may have found something.
Everybody on our team has to screw things in, stand things up, vacuum, fix and redo and light and put stickers up.
I'm ordering the decals. They ship them out too late. I'm really worried.
We also want the Strada booth to have the look of a tech company. And our idea is to use a combination of shape and lighting. We have a vision to angle the 3 custom walls inward so we can create an inviting space that features these demo stations. It also acts as valuable signage and messaging since the Strada brand is still unfamiliar. For color, our friends at Aperture helped us by providing 16 InfiniBars to light the booth. Cinematographer Shannon Stutenroth and gaffer Zane Plaster came up with a low-cost lighting rig using combo stands along with some speed rail to mount the InfiniBars in hope that, from the front, it'll look like a custom lighting rig.
I feel like yesterday wasn't as bad. I was like, everything's cool, we got a lot done. And then today, there was like a moment where I was losing hope with the lighting. I was able to program this one, but getting all 4 of them, like there's no window that I can go back and program.
If we don't have time, that's it.
Okay.
Well, let's get it in a solid color looking correct.
Yeah. But we got it back together as a team. We figured it out. It looks good now.
Then we used additional Aperture InfiniBars to backlight the fabric walls so that we could bring out the colors of the signage as well as backlight the demo stations and give them a little subliminal glow. And built a merch station to interact with people since most Cine Gear attendees might be hearing about Strada for the first time.
Swagging it up. I always volunteer to help build the booth because it helps me feel like we turn this booth and give it a little soul. And I want people to come in and hopefully feel like Strada means something. And you step on this carpet and you're like, okay, where am I?
Prior to Cine Gear, I'm pretty much the only person who uses Strada on a daily basis. So I'm what we call a power user. But given my expectations for features and functionality, my requirements for Strada may in fact be higher than many people who might find it useful in their workflows today. If you think about Strada like a Swiss Army knife, the knife is the most important part of the tool. For us, the main tool of Strada is using AI to automatically analyze and search your assets. But we want to be a Swiss Army knife, so I wanted a lot of other tools to function smoothly before I let anyone try it. I've been afraid that people would use the AI search and then say, well, that's not enough. I need language translation, or I need transcoding, or I need an XML to load the results in my NLE. But what I didn't consider enough is whether or not they could get some value today out of a really sharp AI search tool. What if other tools weren't critical to bringing users some value early on? In episode 8, we highlighted the importance of unbiased third-party opinions. But unfortunately, we wanted to build all the other functions which set us behind schedule. So how will we know if the functionality we have working today is enough? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Woo, day one!
Day one! I'm really proud that we're actually showing Strada for the first time at Cine Gear in our own booth.
It's really cool. We're really happy.
The biggest thing that I was surprised by was that it didn't exist before because it's so obvious.
The tagging feature is really cool. For the documentary world, that's going to be a big tool. The translation take along. The fact it works with Primo, Dropbox, works right into our systems already. To be able to utilize tags and find the shots that you need, so seamless communication is cool.
Using AI in a positive way, I will use it for sure.
Today in Strada, users can connect to their own cloud, load thousands of assets, transcribe them in bulk, automatically tag them with AI, search for a word, an object, or action, and export an XML so the editor can apply the same searches in the NLE. That's a Swiss Army knife. I literally have trouble accepting that Strada may be the only product in the world that can do these things in a single tool. And yet, since I know the roadmap, I still have a hard time feeling it's ready for you to try. But the courage to begin releasing the product came from your reactions at Cine Gear. In fact, one person I trust implicitly pulled me away from my computer, looked me in the eyes, and said, Michael, it's ready. Get it out there. I can't tell you how badly I needed to hear that. A couple months ago, Strada won 3 product awards at the NAB show. Then 2 weeks ago, this YouTube series won a Telly Award for thought leadership. I never view awards as a reason to do good work. Rather, awards are the results of doing good work. And our unique approach to building this company continues to earn recognition from our peers, which in retrospect makes it easy to say Cine Gear was a success. Not because we just pulled off an amazing booth on an impossible budget, but because the people who visited us gave us the confidence we needed to start releasing it. It doesn't mean the product's finished, but it does mean that I'm finally getting comfortable with giving Strada to people, even though it's not perfect. And Cine Gear is the perfect place to show it.
We decided to actually say AI Cloud Workflow. We know that there is a stigma about those two letters, but instead of hiding behind that, we want to invite people in to have a conversation on this carpet and talk about what we think that means and how it actually can help us instead of replace us. And when they see what we're doing, I expect that almost everybody is going to be like, wait, this is different. And it's like, yes, this is different. And it's not about replacing anybody. It's about making you better at your job. Cine Gear is no longer just hot metal things that burn you in the sun. It's also workflow, and it's apps, and it's software. I think we belong here. This is Strada bringing software into a hardware space, into the filmmaking process, which is in real life, real production. Are we setting a trend? Are we starting something new? Or are we gonna go home with our tails between our legs?
You know, like I said at the beginning, we are doing this wrong. 12 months ago, we set goals to show a product at Cine Gear. We didn't even have a company at the time. That's a totally unrealistic expectation. We spent a tremendous amount of money on telling stories here on YouTube, something many investors said is a bad investment because it increases our monthly burn, and we're doing it prior to releasing a product. And we took an enormous risk by making our MVP so robust that it's bigger than it probably needed to be. Each of these bets have made fundraising very difficult. We just set our goals so high, and we were unable to deliver a beta by the end of January as we hoped. And by delaying that beta release by these last 5 months, we may have painted ourselves into a financial corner. But we also built a product that goes way, way beyond the minimum. The people at Cine Gear gave us the feedback that the product is ready and they would use it. So I'm happy to report that last week we began onboarding our first round of beta users, and they're literally telling us the product is amazing. Some even said Strada is already so much better than I thought it would be. Many of you are on the wait list, and now that we're giving it out to people, we'll be working our way through the list, which means Strada should be in the hands of more people every week than the prior week for the rest of its life. Thank you for being a part of this journey. If you haven't signed up for the beta, please do, and then send us an email and tell us about yourself at beta@strada.tech. Thank you for your patience. We cannot wait to get it into your hands and begin learning how Strada enhances your workflows.